Dá cá beijo. Dá cá. Dá cá beijo. Não sejas má. Não sejas má. Não sejas louca. Dá cá beijo da tua boca.
Oh, I take it that's Portuguese. Our first Portuguese song.
That was amazing, man. I love that one. Thanks, Tony, so much. Carlito.
Wow, can you believe that? Another international song.
I love it. We've got a very special guest at the end of the table. We've got Tony from TC Installations. This is really exciting. We've been trying to get Tony in here forever.
Dude, I watch this guy on Instagram. It's one of the people I actually follow. Like, this isn't just about the podcast. This is someone I actually follow. I actually look for... sometimes I get to meet people through the podcast and, just...
Yes.
You're meeting people. You're actually one of the people I like watching and seeing what you're doing. So I'm really excited.
I'm excited to be here, you guys.
Well, I never got to meet the guy.
I'm lost for words now. No,
he's here.
I really appreciate you guys having me here.
No,
Manny.
this has been great.
How are you, Manny?
I'm great, Carlito. How are you? So
Good.
we've got Tony from TC.Installations with an S .Inc. on Instagram.
Yes.
We're going to talk a lot about what you do and how you do it.
Ooh.
But before we get into that, we have a little segment.
Yeah, but before even that, we want to say a big shout out to Skylux and Mark for believing in the construction life and changing the industry and everybody in it.
That's it. Thank you very much, Mark. Skylux Studios, Skylux Roofing, and we enjoy recording the podcast here.
We sure do.
So let's get back to our first segment.
Nice. And that will be History with Manny.
The budget's getting bigger and bigger every single week. I've got an interesting question for you, gentlemen, and I think this is right up your alley, Tony.
Okay.
I know you're a big Festool boy, and you're a big dust extractor guy.
Nice.
Somebody want to tell me who invented it and what year was the very first dust extractor? And I will give you a hint. It was the Germans.
Well, you just got, of course. That was the one probably thing that I would have got right.
But that's not the question I'm asking. I'm asking who and when.
Okay, so knowing Manny, he usually always says like 1800s.
No, my team of analysts.
Okay, so I can look back to me being in my 20s. I saw the Festool and the extracting tools even back then.
You got to go a little further back.
No, but what I'm saying to you is I saw it 20 years ago. No one was using it because it was so expensive.
That's right.
We're not talking about expensive.
So I'm thinking the early 80s.
What do you think, Tony?
I think it has to be a bit further back than that, no? I think so.
A lot further back.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
A lot further back.
Okay. Give us the drum beat.
1921.
Wow.
What?
Far back.
By a gentleman by the name of Wilhelm Belth from Ludwig, Germany.
Wow.
1921,
Nice.
he came up. He pioneered with a 3-filter design that we are so familiar with today.
You're kidding me.
1921. Dust extraction back in 1921, and it's only been recently that people have been getting smarter on job sites about dust extraction.
Did they use a horse with that?
I have no idea. You know what's funny is that I actually did come across the drawings of it, and it looks like
A steamboat.
No, it looks like a huge version of what we're so used to today. It just looks like a
kidding
massive version of it. So he already came up with the idea, and this is the same idea that a lot of woodworking shops are using. Right, so when you go to either Brenlo or you go to any of those places, and you go outside in the yard, and all of a sudden you'll see those 3 tanks.
Oh, yes.
That's that.
Well, you know what, Manny? Thank you for that. And that was History with Manny.
Perfect. There we go. All right, let's get back to our special guest, Tony. So, Tony, when did you get started in this business, man?
Well, it was back in end of 96, 97. Oh, I don't know how far back you want to go.
When did you get the
All
bug
the
for
way.
construction?
Well, from infancy, I would say my parents, they gave me a little hammer.
Probably a steel one.
It was a steel one, wasn't a toy one. So I would probably say I was about 3 years old, I would say. You know, I grew up in the city. We had the second kitchen in the basement, you know, all that. We had the quarto frio, you know, the cantina, cold room. So there was an archway there.
We'll add subtitles to the podcast.
You know what? I actually want to go over right now.
Was there plastic on the couches?
Actually, we didn't.
Oh, you didn't? You're one of the few that
We
didn't.
didn't have
Okay.
Sausages hanging.
But they gave me this hammer, and they would allow me to nail on the casing of the doorway up to a certain height.
No
It was,
way.
Really?
I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And we lived there for a long time. It was left there for I can't even remember how long it was. When I got older, obviously you don't do it anymore, but it was still there for so long until my dad started renovating the basement, right? So it was kind of cool to see that. I wish I had a picture to prove it, but that was kind of
but you got a
interesting.
memory, so that's better
It's a good
sometimes.
memory.
Yes.
So, but fast forwarding it, out of high school, I majored in building construction. So it was a cabinet making course and framing course.
Nice.
1 year was framing, second year was the cabinet making part. And even
So
before
this
that,
is early 90s?
so I went to Central Tech. So
Oh my
another
God.
Central Tech guy.
Yeah, I went to Central
And
Tech.
you know what? Here, this is a really important point. These tech schools are so important
Yes.
for
Very.
such guys like you and me and Manny.
We
Like,
should get Central Tech on this show.
That would be a great idea.
I think they only play soccer there now.
No. I'm sure they still do
And by
that.
the way, when I was growing up, that was a tough school.
It was a tough school. It was a tough school.
Some of the toughest guys I know.
Like Western Tech too, same thing. So there's always
you
that
were there,
rivalry.
what
I was there in 92 and graduated in 96.
Oh, and then right into construction.
Took the construction, but I loved mechanics too.
Oh.
So I was like, what should I do? What should I choose? But I like the woodworking part of it all the time. So I always enjoyed that.
You're Portuguese.
I guess it's in the blood, right? But at the time when I graduated in 96, there was nothing going on. It was kind of quiet.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was taking an extra half a semester. Believe this or not, I majored in math co-op. So I ended up working at CIBC through the temp agency.
You did a math co-op and
After.
they put you in a bank?
They put me in a bank. Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't make sense to me.
No, but this is a good start.
This is a good start.
Okay.
Okay, watch. I did that for a bit. I got hired by their temp agency. I worked there for about 6 months, but I decided it wasn't for me. Started looking in the want ads. Then I found a shop that was looking for some help or whatever. But the CIBC part of it helped me kind of organize things. So it gave
Your
me
business.
filing, all that jazz. But again, that was the good part of it. But it was a teller. I was that teller CSR position they called it back
I
then.
can't picture you suit and tie
Yeah, well,
or
that's-
dress shirt and tie.
It was dress shirt and tie.
Yeah, I can
it was
only
dress
picture
shirt and tie.
Tony and
Yeah.
You know what though? I do picture it because everything I see on your Instagram, you're always super clean.
yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And even in person, you're even cleaner.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So I got hired by a shop. They promised me a certain wage and all that. Got hired. They kind of reduced that after I walked in. But that was fine because what ended up happening, I got a little bit of experience. The grunt work, deliveries, finishing. So I helped a lot in finishing. And that helped me a lot because I learned how to treat material. So when it's pre-finished, you don't just throw it away like some guys do.
Yeah.
Right? So it helped you care for the product. And I think that helped me kind of, it actually humbled myself because when you're put in that position, you're like almost kind of a slave, I guess, sanding and all that. I would sand my fingertips off. Just in finishing,
Well,
that's what happens.
that's like
You know you're
25
supposed to
years
use
ago.
sandpaper, right? Not your
Yes,
fingers.
true. But you would put tape on your fingers just to protect it, right? Because it would bleed all the time from sanding. But anyway, going back, I'm talking too much already.
No, we like this. We like this.
No, we've been down these roads. We've been
By the
down
way,
these
you're on a
roads.
podcast. It's about talking.
True. Good reminder. But so at that point, they wouldn't train me to assemble or anything.
They didn't
like
want to
that.
give you the important stuff yet.
But there was a lot of old school guys there carving, building beautiful pieces
Hand,
of furniture.
by hand?
Well, it's done as in Ossington. I don't. You know
Hey.
that.
Well, wait a second. Is that where you live?
I used to live.
Hang on, is it Dundas and Ossington?
Dundas-
Or is it
Ossington, Dundas.
or Dundash?
Dundas.
Do you know the building there in the corner? Do you know
Which one? South side?
east side, southeast?
Yes. Okay.
You know Angelo?
No, I don't.
Okay,
No, I don't.
So
It's a
everyone
small
that's
world.
not
I live
from
downtown.
Toronto
I live downtown.
would have
Okay.
no idea what Carlito's asking.
It's little Portugal right there.
Oh,
that
yeah.
strip is little Portugal.
Okay.
So that's where I worked, but they weren't willing to show the initiative, I guess, or train me. So I figured, you know what, let me start looking for something else. Someone called me, a friend of mine. He was working, doing designs and all that, at another shop. They're looking for a service guy to do little installs of vanities, finish up jobs, clean up this and that. I go, let's give it a shot. So I went in, they hired me, and that's what I started to do things, the little projects here and there. I would prepare projects in the shop to go for delivery. So I was helping out with that. But eventually, the plant foreman, he put me on a project. I'll never forget this. I had only experience on little projects. This was a master closet. 2 galley sides. It was huge. And when I saw the plans, I go, you sure you want me to go there? I go, I can't do this. I have no experience. He goes, just go. Anything, just let me know. I still remember him vividly. I still play golf with him. True, like family, we know them. They gave me an opportunity. I think that was a big opportunity that helped me in my career. I went there. He goes, don't worry. Confidence in me, I guess, which I didn't.
He saw something.
He must have saw something, but I didn't have experience with that. So tried that out, and slowly, little by little, I got the hang of that. So then eventually he continued putting me on, cabinetry installs with kitchens and all that. So I guess it kind of
it just went from there. It went
snowballed from there. Going to speed it up a little bit. So I was there for about close to 4 or 5 years. The shop was closing down, unfortunately. So I got married in 2000. And this happened November, December. Yeah, somewhere in January, it kind of...
Man, we hear this a lot, how a lot of big major steps in your guys' lives, and then all of a sudden a great career move happens at the same time as a personal move happens, but then something bad happens career-wise.
I was fortunate to have that opportunity because I gained a lot of experience. But when that happened, it's like, what are you going to do? I'm newly married. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I decided, you know what? Let me start a little company. So I started TC in April 2001. Yeah, that's when it was. I just started going around to different companies, giving out business cards.
Just cold call.
Cold call, just do that. And eventually I did a couple jobs here and there. My name started going out, and I really fortunate the way it worked out. You start to meet different designers and different companies, and I just went from there.
So that's how TC Installations came about.
It came about that way.
Then the word so officially your title is what? What are you?
So I guess you can say a carpenter, but I'm more of a cabinet maker / installer, I guess you can say.
Custom cabinet maker.
Yeah. So that's what you can consider.
And now almost 20 years, you're, I think, well respected in the industry that you only get called when someone is serious about something being done properly. Right. I'm sure you've got your Joker stories.
Oh, yeah. I think we all do.
I hope you have some for us today.
But I think you've built the brand well enough that all of a sudden you call Tony for a reason. You know what I mean? And then you've always delivered. You take care of it. It goes in, you show up, you scratch your head, not everything's there. But you're a problem solver on site.
I have a funny feeling, though, that it's more than that. I think that you're a super clean guy, and that makes a massive difference in how people remember you and respect you.
It's funny you say that, and I appreciate your kind comments. I really do. I can't believe I'm here with you guys and talking about this. It's like a dream or something. But no,
we're nobody, man. It's a bad dream.
No, but I really appreciate this opportunity to.
Actually, believe it or not, I'm more excited to meet you finally.
It's nice meeting you as well. But yeah, you know what? When we work together as a team, the first thing I say is, guys, you see something, please, let's keep it clean up. And the clients do remember that. There's one company who actually, they kind of nicknamed me Mr. Clean.
That's good.
So you know what? That's a great thing. And again, I think it all started with my parents, like the way they raised us and instilled in us. And I think that just carried on forward.
It just goes, yeah.
Funny how you're talking about problem solving. I would work with my dad summer holidays during school, whatever. He would, when something would come up, he does like renovations. He's retired now. He did work in 2 apartment buildings, renovating the suites. And when something would come up, he would say in Portuguese.
Say it in Portuguese.
He goes, "Já precisa desenrascar de alguma maneira." So we got to figure out a way to solve this, to figure it out. So that as well stuck with me throughout. When something comes or a problem arises on site today, like of all things, something came up. It's such a little issue, could have been solved in the shop. Some people might make a big deal out of it. I call the company. I say, listen, this is the situation. I can resolve it. Do you want me to do it? Do you want to make new parts or whatever? And both of us were able to figure it out and take care of it.
Yeah, there's always two schools of thought here. There's always two groups of guys who will look at a problem and go, "Oh, this is going to be a pain. This is going to take a while."
Well, everyone complains about everything. Why complain? Everyone's frustrated already, and some people don't want to be at work. But you know what?
I like complaining.
But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't get you nowhere.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Just see if you can resolve the issue. Just take care of it.
Complaining doesn't get you to lunch sooner.
I'm teasing.
Lunch
I'm
arrives on its
teasing.
own.
Sometimes I don't even get to eat lunch, man. There's days I don't even eat until I get home.
I think I hear a ambulance.
Can I borrow
around
your
the corner.
Kleenex?
What? That's not a Kleenex. So that's fascinating. So right now, are you still? Is it just you and one guy? Is that?
So right now, I got 2 new employees. So
you got 2 guys.
There's 3 of us, but what they're doing now, because they're younger.
20s?
Yeah, 20. One's 20, one's 21. So
Do you
and
have
they're
the
green.
millennial solution?
I used to have that before with a few other guys I had in the past. One has a bit of experience in construction. The other is totally green.
Oh, I love green.
They're very green still, but that's great because you can mold them the way you want to.
Totally.
We hear that a lot, and
Human
we know
sponges.
that a lot. Yeah.
Which that can help, but it takes time because it just last year things kind of changed. I took some time off. You probably
Yeah,
were.
I remember.
I had my knee procedure done,
Yeah.
so that kind of threw me off a little bit. I had a big project to start, but I didn't take it on, so that kind of messed up the rest of the year.
I know we
So-
get older, and I start paying attention to what you're supposed to be doing, which I wish I did when I was younger, and now I'm doing it in my late 40s, and I'm hoping that it helps me out.
But
I'm hoping.
you know what? He brings up a really good point, and I want to interrupt talking about you right now and talk about your knee a little bit. A lot of guys in this business, you don't save your money, and you're out for 2 or 3 months. You're in a lot of trouble.
It is, yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize you can get injured really fast in like sports or something personal, but even at work,
it's not even
right?
just a job site injury. It's just like we get older, and joints and muscles and things, they just
We
don't-
get older?
We get older. We all get older. But yeah, it's. I think you got to treat your body right. That's all it is, man. You have to treat your body right. For all you young guys out there, pay attention to the old guys.
6 herniated discs, 2 blown knees.
He's more like the 6 and change $1 million man.
They call me the 6 cent man.
Okay, so I actually Tony, I wanted to play a little game, so to
Okay.
speak. I want to mention some names, and I want to see if you've actually installed these brands.
Oh.
Maybe you've touched them. I'm not sure.
Wait,
right?
is this a new game?
No, this is not a. Well, it could be a new thing. No, it can't be.
So it's okay to mention these names?
Of course it is.
Okay.
Totally. We can mention these names.
Hey, did you see how he's so for the viewers or for the listeners, he hid under the microphone.
There's no camera here. No camera at all. Econi? Do you know of Econi?
I've heard of them.
Okay, you haven't installed Econi. Okay.
What is it?
Hang on a sec. I'll get to it.
Okay.
Boffy? Boffy?
Yes.
Boffy.
Okay.
That's a slap in Spanish.
No. Scalovini?
Scavellini? is it?
Scavellini.
I haven't done any work for them, but I know them. Know them.
Porcelanosa?
I've heard of them too, but
Okay. How do you pronounce it? Bluethop? No, Bluethop?
so some say bull top or bull top.
Bulltop?
Wait, you're talking about
Hang on a
sandwiches
sec. Hang on. This is not sandwiches. Fabri?
No, I haven't done
I haven't done that. Okay. I got
But
two
you
more.
know all these
I got two
names.
more. Dika?
Deca, yeah. I've heard of them,
Deca?
yeah.
Okay. And Wren. W-R-E-N.
I've heard of them too, but
So these are kitchen cabinet companies from around the world, from Italy, from Spain, from Portugal, from the UK.
And I thought you were making dinner.
No, so I wanted to just, because I know you're familiar with some of them.
Yes.
And you've installed them.
Yes.
And they all have goods and bads. What's the question?
There's one more. Charisco.
It's not food. It's wood.
food's always good.
Did you work with them?
But yeah, so I just I know you've worked with quite a few. I'm a fan of the European cabinetry. I am a fan of it. I like what they're doing. I'm not a huge fan of the North American cabinetry. I know that I'm going to upset all the U.S.
No,
listeners.
you got great points here, dude.
I've just like the face frame has never really done anything for me. I've always had a problem with having to lift a dish or a glass or something to get over the lip of something. I like the cleanliness of the sleekness of the European, Asian, UK style. That's just me. What are your thoughts on that, Tony?
I do like the look. So each brand carries their certain unique features, let's call it, right? Such as, so the German brand is kind of known for the very thin look.
Thin.
Very minimal look.
So like
Very-
half inch or
So,
like
let's
small
say-
hardware?
Countertops are like, 10 mil, let's say.
Yeah, centimeter.
Wow.
Centimeter.
So they're very thin. When you go kind of with the Italian brands, they're kind of more like thicker panels, very high gloss. There's different looks for different tastes. So everyone has their
Personal preference.
Personally, exactly. Some are the way it's engineered too.
True.
So that's a different.
They have different versions of MDF
Yes.
that we are not even using
Wait
here.
a second. I know of 4 MDFs. What
No,
else am I
okay,
missing?
I don't think they call them MDF there. They call them some sort of compressed board of. It's something else.
Yeah, it's something else.
Green. I can't remember green board or something.
I can't remember.
It's a
the exact
different
term.
animal.
Yeah.
I
Is it
just-
because it's a different glue?
I don't know
It's
the exact
environmentally
process.
friendly and all that.
Yeah,
So
there's a
it's
lot of
different.
green. There's a lot of
Yes.
green elements to it,
Yeah.
but they treat their woods different, and they say that they're better. They're more stable than plywoods. I don't know if that's the case.
If that's true, that's pretty impressive.
When you use plywood here, you're very well aware of that. It always tends to.
yes,
to
it does.
work,
Yeah,
right?
you figure it's on a dance recital, man. Like,
So it depends which type of ply you get as well, too, right?
Yeah.
So it varies. I do a lot of work with companies here too. Again, a different taste. Everyone likes that flashy look. So some might go with that very bright color, high gloss. Some might go very minimal, continue with the white look. Some people go with that, just plain. So it all depends. On
when was the last time you installed a shaker?
Dumb, dumb, dumb.
I knew that S word was going to come up soon.
He hates shakers.
No. I dislike. Hate is a harsh word.
A lot of people are still using it. A lot of people.
A lot of people are doing a lot of things.
Okay. So, what is your choice in Canada? Like, it's obvious Manny's leading up to something.
You got a
And
very good point. Canada,
Manny's basically
yes.
leading up to something, and he's basically saying that we are really behind in fashion and in construction.
No, it's not so much that we're behind. I think that we're not bold enough to actually design and build a kitchen for us personally. I think we design and build a kitchen for the for sale sign before us personally. And that's what I have a problem with. What are you seeing, Tony, with your like the clients that are doing these jobs, these houses? Are they switching them up every 10, 15, or are they going longer than that?
Some. I worked on a project. They had their kitchen for about 20 years. It's built to last, right?
But they weren't swapping it out
They
for a
weren't
new one because
swapping-
it fell apart. They got tired
It
of
was
it.
outdated a little.
Yeah, okay.
So they chose to change it up. Or some had issues where doors are falling off.
Wow.
When the hinges fall off, to repair it, you know how it is. You only
But
can.
that's I don't know if you know that, but that's another thing about Tony. He actually is also a repair guy.
Oh, so we have something
Kind
in
of,
common.
kind-
we go
kind-
we
Yeah,
go in
sure.
after bad guys and fix
No,
everything.
no.
Sometimes, yes.
Servicing kind of thing.
Yes. So
There's a lot of money in servicing, by the way.
There
Maintenance
is.
and servicing,
There
there's
is.
a lot of money.
sometimes, let's say I work on a project, they'll contact me maybe a year or two. Oh, some things are out of alignment. Can you come adjust the doors? 'Cause,
Oh, when
fill it
did
up-
you and your wife have an argument and someone?
Wait a
I slammed the drawers,
A Portuguese guy taught me how to mud, and he had a drywall axe and a trowels. Is that what you use?
Let me check my pocket over here.
Hey, epa, let's go.
stereotypes from the creation, of course.
boy.
Yes.
But yeah. So when you load up the kitchen too, things change. They shift.
Exactly.
And
You're
after
so
a year,
right.
things settle. The house settles. So things. I mean, so I go in and
Moisture levels.
Moisture levels too. People call just to, oh, can you change this up, or can you cut some new panels? I want to change the colors. We order it from the company, whatever, and then I'll go in.
What do you like? Like, what do you?
Oh, you're beating me to it.
If you could build your
my
dream,
own
I don't know
kitchen?
if you've got your dream. I see
Oh,
pieces of it when you
you-
make your espressos, which I love.
Yeah, I've been noticing you two have a lot in common.
Those cups are coming very handy, that's for sure.
Can we stop him and maybe ask a couple questions before we get to his favorite material?
Sure, go ahead, ask her anything, whatever.
Okay, so let's start with the basics.
Yeah.
Press board. What do you think of it in building kitchens? Like, we'll just name a couple of them, and you give us your opinion on
Okay,
it.
so the carcass of the cabinets, they're always press board or particle board. That's
Yeah.
kind of
That's
what
the low
everyone's
end.
doing. Everyone's doing that. Then, like we were talking about plywood, some go with marine ply. upgrade to that. But usually melamine, that's kind of the basic.
MDF?
MDF, not so much for the carcasses, unless it's being painted. Then they'll use
Then they'll
MDF,
use it.
Yeah. Meaning like the interior of the cabinet, they'll construct the cabinet in MDF and then they paint it. If there's glass doors, let's say, or an open unit, then they'll do it that way.
Majority of people using plastic feet.
The adjustable legs, the levelers on the cabinets. Yeah.
You know what, though? I would call them legs, too. I don't know why they're called feet.
I don't know. They feet or legs? I don't know. I don't
call
want to
them- I
upset
call
one
them
group or
legs.
the other.
I call them legs. Yeah.
Okay.
So some use the plastic.
I got started 10 years ago, 11 years ago, scribing.
Wait a second. You started at IKEA?
No. Why'd you say IKEA?
Because I always think plastic
such
legs.
a great conversation.
Because you know what? When I think carpentry, I always think of actual, like, you know, a good solid frame.
And this podcast is brought to you by IKEA. No, it's not.
I've done a few of those too. So.
I think we all have. We've all modified them, and we've all had extra nuts and bolts.
We've had to.
Yes, we've had to.
True.
So back on your track of questions, please.
So, what is your choice of the doors and carcass?
Manny's probably not going to like me when I say this. I like the shaker style. I do like.
Really? You like a shaker?
I do. I don't like
Single, double, triple, reverse.
Just clean rails. Clean.
Okay,
Just
simple?
Simple. My wife loves the modern look. Very clean.
So you're a cottagey guy.
I don't like it too much.
Painted shaker.
Painted shaker, and then I like when we did my parents' place. It was a painted finish. The island was like in a wood veneer finish, so I like that look. I kind of like the two tones still. I would go something clean for our place. I just,
Well, you don't have a choice. You're married, so you're not going to have much of a choice.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, I don't.
Yes, honey.
Yes, dear, if you're listening. After, but I would do something clean. I don't like too fancy ornamental corbels and all that. That's
I've never
too
been a
dated.
fan of that.
So, can you do me a favor,
Yes.
just so that everybody understands? Because we sometimes have like customers listening. When you say stuff like that, can you explain what those things are?
So the corbels are those. Let's say you can have it on a hood fan, like a canopy. They're at the underside of it to add a decorative touch. And then on the islands, they usually put it underneath the countertops.
Yeah,
So
picture the gargoyles removed.
That's
and
another
the
way of
bottom
saying
You know what?
portion.
I like that. Like,
Really?
yeah.
I'm surprised.
Hi. I like everything.
I agree with you. It's a little much.
It's a little too much, right? And then I'm a fan. I like a little crown. Again, not too fancy.
Love crown.
Not too fancy. Just something simple, just to dress it up a little bit.
Valance.
Valance, I would like too. Nice and clean with
You
that.
know, when I was at IBS this year earlier, before the whole COVID thing, I came across the GE Monogram booth, and I was blown away by
Those are kitchen guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Appliances, right? High-end appliances, right? In the same realm as Sub-Zero and Viking and stuff like that. They had a unit there that was red velour interiors, diamond stitched. And then on the outside was a
Diamond
shaker.
stitched.
Was a shaker, but the inset was hammer-nailed fabric.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was stunning.
That's
like
nice.
stunning, man. So I think that if you take shaker and you make it something else, maybe like you take a Honda Civic from the 90s and you make it Fast and Furious kind of thing.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you take one of those? I know you.
I had those pictures.
I know you took a picture. Can you put it on one of your stories?
Sure,
because
it's
I'd
beautiful.
love to see that.
I was impressed and completely impressed with that. I was very impressed. So back to I don't know what were you asking?
Well, I mean, we're talking about personal preferences on the kind of finishes, but I really wanted to get to the meat, and I wanted to find out: do you like to have press board or MDF? Like, what do you like to build your kitchen cabinets from?
I would go with, because again, I like the wood interior look. That's what I like.
I do too.
I like that look, but it easily scratches.
Yeah.
You know, you put a little liner or whatever. But I would do a clear finish inside, plywood box. That's what I would do.
Durable.
It's more durable, yes,
Yeah, it's
stronger,
durable.
better than press board or melamine. But melamine is easier to clean. So
True.
It's like you have to decide.
Yeah, but you
that.
put a nice lacquer in there, and it's easy to clean too.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, so I would do that. I'll probably do a painted finish on the core of the kitchen, and then the island, like I said, I will do a different color and a wood finish. That's what I would do.
And what color wood finish?
Wood finish, I've always liked. I like the walnut look.
Really nice.
I like the
You know
walnut.
what? The walnut's got such a beautiful
It's
grain.
just the grain in
It's
it.
got a beautiful grain.
Cherry's nice too.
Yeah.
I like cherry as
It's
well.
a nice little brother to walnut, man.
So, but you can't go wrong with maple too.
Maple's stunning. I don't like oak.
It depends, I guess, how you finish it. It's the grain is too
Something about
too
the
much,
grain,
yeah.
it bothers me a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it reminds me of parquet. I don't know.
I think oak is too busy for you. There's too many lines in
yeah,
it.
it's
true.
the grain
Well,
I'm not crazy about.
And I think that maple is a soft touch between the walnut and the oak. I think the walnut for me too is if I was going to go wood, I'd definitely want a walnut.
I know a few years ago the Italians had a lot of porcelain 6 mil slab door faces,
What?
and they were trying to bring them into North America. I saw them at the shows. I never saw them take off, and I don't think that they're going to take off. I don't think North America is a porcelain slab stone.
Well, I did a kitchen.
Sounds cold, man.
It's uniform.
Yes.
It's very uniform, but
I just think a kitchen should be warm and inviting, and that's just too cold for me.
yeah.
It depends the look of the house too, right?
Yeah.
If it's a modern looking home, then you can.
That's
that'll
the other
look
thing.
go
Tony,
well
I don't
with
want to disappoint you, but I love painted MDF. Like I'm an MDF
Yeah,
guy, and I just love paint. Like I know people are sick of the grays already, but I could go all day with grays.
it. It's a nice look. It's soft.
Two-tone.
Yeah,
Add some.
definitely.
I like the Victorian styles. I know that Manny over here is probably going to throw something at me.
The beauty of having a podcast with 3 individuals that have 3 different opinions is we get to share our opinions. We don't have to
Very true.
agree with
But
each other.
the problem with my opinions is they change weekly from job to
That's
job.
true.
Every time
That's
I go
very,
into a
very
different
true.
house, I'm like, oh man, that's so nice. And it's just another idea. You know what I mean?
What is one of the most mind-blowing kitchens that you installed that you saw recently? No, it's fine. What really impressed you? Because I mean, off the top of the head, what can you tell me like how many kitchens you've installed in 20 years?
You know what?
Do you have a counter?
Before I would keep track.
Like a little bouncer,
I
bouncer
would,
track?
Okay, you know what? I mean, that was 20, 50. I had lost count. I didn't.
It's got to be hundreds.
It has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
Even getting to 1,000.
I can't recall. Like I've done a lot of built-in units, vanities, and so it's
All kinds.
I've lost track.
You know what? Me and Manny were talking about this the other day after one of the podcasts, and I use the old file papers. So I'll take a contract, and if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I'll go back to it. You know, sometimes when I'm behind in work and I need a job, I'll open up an old file. So I always keep everything in files. I'm not like Manny and put it in the computer and it's archived and a nice little thin computer. I've got like files and files, but it's nice to go back and overview and meet customers. So sometimes when you forget your count, you can actually, when you're slow and you want some work, you can actually go back to customers you never got. And it's just a little phone call can be like, hey, you know what? Actually, I need a kitchen right away.
That's a good point. Good
I was
point.
just trying to make a point about
for
that.
For sure.
So what was the kitchen?
So
Sorry, man.
I have no idea how that got sidetracked.
kitchen that I worked on.
No,
or-
that you worked on,
that I
that you loved, that you installed, that kind of recently impressed you.
One that really sticks out, a few, but one in particular, I was out in Vancouver, and I worked on this project. I was there. We actually stayed there for a month.
A month?
A month, yeah. So it was a big project, and I don't want to say any names because
Of course,
you
no,
never
no.
know.
No, don't.
But it was a beautiful place to be at, and I was able to bring my wife, and my son was 8 months at that time, and it was kind of like a workation almost, you know. So they were there. So I would work, and Vancouver's a beautiful place. I've done 2 projects there, but this particular one, it had the bells and whistles, very modern look.
Modern.
It was modern.
Wow.
But
BC.
it wasn't too overpowering. It was very soft. The colors that they chose was beautiful. That one really.
Do you remember the brand that it was?
It was the German brand, yeah.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
bolt
So
on,
thin.
yeah. Very thin.
We've got a little segment here.
Building code talk with Manny.
Carlito's getting a little better with this. I just wanted to ask you guys, do you guys know offhand what the OBC, the Ontario Building Code, restrictions are regarding appliances and sinks in kitchen? What your minimums are?
Okay, well,
So the minimum between a open range,
Okay.
gas range, to the nearest wall, what is the minimum?
horizontal or
Horizontal.
Okay, 30.
Is that 28?
15 inches, man.
what?
That's your
15?
minimum.
Hold on a
Stove to wall.
Stove to wall.
Stove
Okay,
to wall.
sorry.
Oh, okay,
I thought you meant
stove to
opening.
wall.
I'm sorry.
No. So the edge of the stove
Okay, sorry.
to the next combustible material,
Okay.
15 inches.
That's amazing, dude. I didn't know that.
I wanted to,
I
so
didn't know either.
what's on a gas range? What's your minimum height of your hood?
22.
24.
24. Damn, I should have known that.
low.
But can I say something? It's also up to the manufacturing of the actual range. Most ranges have different products in them, like plastic and steel and glass.
No, this would be OBC, man. Like this is, you got to be careful about that, and they can measure it.
I know, but I always read the instructions, and a lot of times that will change from hood range or microwave or whatever conventional oven.
Okay, so what's the minimum between a stove and a sink? Minimum distance that you're allowed between a stove and a sink.
3 feet.
24 inches. This is not really a test. This is just more
No,
voluntary
hang in a
information.
second. Hang in a second.
Because I know you're 0 for 3 right now.
No, no, this is really important. When we were speaking about this and we started the building code talk, this was about educating people in construction that don't have a construction license, and now we're trying to help them learn the minimum requirements.
Totally.
Because when you go apply for a construction license, you have to know the minimum,
Yes.
not the max or the overkill. It's about the minimum. So these are all things that you can forget when you take the code, and this is a refresher or preparing for the younger guys that want to
sure.
get into construction and get a license. So
So the last one now is sink to a wall minimum.
and I take it that's also horizontal.
Yes. I don't know if you're putting the sink on a vertical.
You know what? I would think 24 inches again.
Minimum
3
is
feet.
18 inches.
But who's going to
Minimums.
have something that small up against the wall?
Condos downtown Toronto.
You're
We're
so
probably
right.
living with all these minimums right here. I'm just looking at this image and I'm like, that's a downtown kitchen condo.
Can I say this right now for myself? Wrong.
This is about us sharing information.
No, that's great, Manny. That's
So-
fantastic. So let's go over it one more time. 18 inches to the
So
side.
15 inches for any stove to not for next combustible material.
Okay.
On a wall surface. 24 from the hood range, from the actual range
For
top
gas.
to the hood.
For gas.
24 between range to sink. 18 from sink to wall.
Beautiful. Thank
All
you,
right.
Manny.
So-
And that was Manny with building code talk.
Thank you, Carlito.
Stay tuned to find out what Manny's next questions will be.
No more questions until the next show.
And Carlito got wrong.
It's back to Tony. You know what? I think you might be the first Tony in construction.
No, you sure you're not half Italian?
I think we've had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 Tonys on the show, man.
Oh, boy.
I think we honestly, Tony from Mississauga Hardware.
Hey.
Tony Timber Taylor. Like we've had a few Tonys here, which is great. It's wonderful. Hey, there's a few Mannys. And I'm pretty sure
We haven't-
there's a lot of Carlitos.
I don't know. The only place I've seen a lot of Carlitos is I was in Cuba.
Don't get-
and someone,
don't
and
get-
someone
don't.
said to me, Carlito, and I turned around. There was 200 other guys that turned around. And I was like, there was a lot of Carlitos here.
All right, so back over to Tony. So where are we now?
Can we talk about what you don't like seeing in kitchen cabinets and what the homeowners or customers or other contractors should be looking for, or how to change it to better the kitchen?
To improve the quality of the
That's
kitchen,
right.
basically. One thing is the construction. Some go really, they cheap out on the thickness of the material. When you use a 5/8, let's say, it tends to warp a lot, especially a particle board.
There should be a minimum of 3/4.
3/4.
Minimum.
That's minimum. That's
Okay,
what-
and I hate saying this because Manny's going to hate this, but IKEA's down to half an inch.
Are they down to half?
yeah.
I went over to a customer's house. I didn't get the job, but I'm doing another part of the project. And I went in the kitchen and I was like, you didn't take me because I was $20,000 more, but your kitchen's all half inch and it's IKEA.
Their
Unfinished.
carcasses are half inch?
I remember the last one I worked on. Again, it was for a friend, and they were 3/4 thickness.
Maybe they
Material.
changed them recently.
Well,
Maybe they changed it.
I do know for sure the end gables were all half inch. Guaranteed.
Okay, so that's the end gable. So that's a different style. They're doing that kind of European look, very thin.
I don't like it. Personal preference.
It is what it
it's
is.
personal preference. Right?
Okay, so continue on. Sorry.
So, so hardware. I mean, standard is the Blue Motion or Grass. Something.
Everything, right?
Everything's Blue Motion.
And
like
what is Blue Motion?
So Blue Motion is basically like you were saying earlier, if you get into an argument, you slam the drawers, it's not going to bang, so they'll close softly on its own. Some even have the touch latch on them, incorporated with that. So that's kind of a basic thing now.
Yeah.
I think everyone should do that, but they kind of sell it as an upgrade, let's say.
But it's not really an upgrade.
but
I think it's a standard now.
That
Now,
should be
you're right.
standard. It
Yeah.
should be standard.
I'm going to say it. There's a lot of markup in kitchens, man.
Yeah.
Manufacturing of kitchens.
You know what, though? A lot of work goes into it.
Does it? Yeah.
It does.
Okay.
I guess some don't realize what it takes. Just the finishing on a project, let's say. It takes a bit of time to work on it.
Especially if the walls are warped.
Well, like today in this particular home, it was a half-inch off level on a tall unit. If the construction is not made proper from the get-go, how are you going to make a cabinet look clean?
So what do you do in that scenario?
Again, I called them, let them know. Luckily, there's a filler there. But again, it's a modern design that they have there. You can either push it over to make the filler smaller, but then you'll see a half-inch difference. We kept the 1-inch filler, and at the top will be 1.5 inches. Because especially on the door, you want clearance from hitting the wall. Especially they have a pull on it, and it protrudes the door. So when you open it up, it's going to hit the wall. So you got to keep that into consideration too. But
I think it should be standard. Like we've talked about this before, where there should be engineered lumber used in all shower enclosures.
True.
So you should have true perfect plumb, and it should be the exact same thing. Your wall in your kitchens, your main wall where your cabinetry are, they should all be LSL
You're right.
boards.
Laundry room,
Yes,
kitchen,
yeah, they should.
and a bathroom.
Why do you want to bring in, I'm going to guess, anywhere from 40 to 80 plus $1,000 cabinetry, and then have somebody like yourself try to Mickey Mouse it on a half-inch plumb over 6 feet, 8 feet, whatever it is? Why? It should be framed dead straight.
And keeping in mind, in this area, you had lights on either side of a mirror frame. This was a vanity. So,
Oh, wow.
So you got to keep that into consideration too, because if you push it over too much or not enough, it's going to throw everything off center. So you got to keep all those things in check too.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Were you part of the designing?
no. So what I specialize in is just more of the installation of the millwork. So that's what I specialize in. So I've done projects in the past that I designed from scratch and built, but I tried to stick more to the installation part because I think that was my thing that I was really good at. Designing was always on the back of my mind to do. I would like to get into that. I had a little bit of AutoCAD while I was in school. I got into that, but that's always something on the back burner I have. I might do that. We'll see.
So do you charge customer extra when you run into these problems, or how do you deal with that?
So again, depending how it was set up, it's either priced on the job or a time and material. So it's all different situations the way you have it set up with the company. So in this case, if it's time and material, it's just the time. But then when issues arise, you call the office, the designer, and discuss issues like that, and they'll give you a go ahead to rectify it.
I feel for you guys sometimes because I've always felt for the painters and the trim guys, the guys at the end, because I'm sure that
People don't appreciate those guys.
Well, no, they're asked to rush and slow down, make everything perfect, but do it fast
And cheap.
and cheap,
And cheap.
soon, quick, because I need my kitchen going right away tomorrow. How long?
I got a template tomorrow. I just started
know.
today. Give a couple days.
Yeah.
Depending the size of the project too. I hate that fast word. It's like you want a quality job done, it takes time.
For you homeowners out there that are listening, just your 2 or 3 people out there,
1,000 million.
just understand, do not rush the finishing. Don't rush the finishing. You don't want to do that.
I tell people all the time, if a contractor's taking a little longer, as long as he's moving along, leave him alone. Because if he's taking his time, it's going to be a better finish. Why you want to rush the guy out of your house?
Because they want the template right away. They want the
wanna
kitchen
move-
right away.
They want to move in as quick as possible.
That's what it is. And it's not until the kitchen's complete can I move in, because then I can start cooking, or I can start bringing in groceries. I can start doing all that kind of stuff.
That's true.
When you come into a house and you're looking at the project, what are the first things that you're looking for that might be problems for you?
So I take a look at where are we going to start. You check the floors, how plumb it is, your high point, your low point. Check the walls if they're square. Plumbing or wiring's in the wrong place. Sometimes that's an issue too, because whoever
That can happen.
When whoever went there to do a site visit. They didn't look at that. So I tried to see if there is any issues on the first day, and hopefully we can resolve them. Call the GC or the homeowner. Okay, listen, we got to do this. We got to change this. Works out.
Kitchens are getting complicated these days. I mean, are you a fan of all the servo and the electric this and electric? I'm not a fan.
Oh, he's shaking
I'm not
his
a
head.
fan.
I don't know if I should say this. On there.
You should,
No,
please.
I
You know why?
you know
Because
what?
people need to educate themselves.
Listen, the more electronics, like your vehicle, the more you have,
Exactly.
it's going to malfunction. It's going to break down. To be honest with you, it's a nice gadget. Personally, I would not put it on my own kitchen. I wouldn't.
I got a little story. I think it was in Portugal, like 3 years
Of
ago.
course you were. Does this start by the beach eating clams and seafood?
It's by the beach, no clams, seafood, yes. I went to go rent a car, hopped in, didn't even think anything of it, sat in there, all of a sudden, hey, look, stick shift. I haven't driven stick shift in forever. I missed it.
You drive a motorcycle.
I know how to drive stick shift, but I'm just saying, you talk about technology. Like, I've got a personal car that has paddle, and I hate it. I can't stand the paddle shift, right? I'm with you. And the same thing. I don't think the servos make any sense. I've been told by other people talking about you just lean against it, it opens on its
opens
own.
up, yes.
And I'm like, so your bum is telling the drawer to open up? I don't get that.
Okay, but do you do handicap kitchens? That's when it's really important, right?
Yeah, true.
Or seniors.
Or you can even use a touch latch system, which is not servo drive. Like, it's just a basic.
That's just a basic touch of it.
Which, but it ends up being the same problem. If you lean up against it,
It'll open up.
It's going to open up. So that's the only disadvantage. If you go with that look or that kind of system, then you just got to be aware not to lean on it.
I love the clients and the designers that love adding those long handles on really narrow 36-inch galley kitchens that will get snagged by everything you're wearing. And it's a good thing that guys don't wear tassels on their leather jackets anymore, because they would just get tangled up there and they would be found dead. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
Bon Jovi.
I'm just saying, man.
That's a good band.
I was more of a Motley Crue guy.
There's certain handles that should just be censored, like not applicable in any kitchen.
And you got to keep in mind too, when you use those type of handles, you got to be aware when you open it, it's going to interfere by opening a door or a drawer on the other
Very,
side.
very true.
Or dent a fridge.
Dent anything.
Yeah.
I've seen a fridge with 10 dents and I'm like, hey, what happened there? Are you angry? She's like, no, I keep smashing into the handles.
And you really don't discover that until everything's put together.
True.
And then, but I mean, we're professionals. We're in this industry. So as a designer, as a homeowner, you should be conscious of that. You should be aware if you're going to open this or swing that, or there's going to be a cause and effect as a result of it.
And that's when the fillers come into play. When it's up against the wall, you need that clearance for issues like that. Even in a corner, like say an L shape or U shape, usually minimum 1.75 inches, 1.5 2 inches, just to clear the handle when you open drawers, right? So that's what the fillers come into play.
I am a huge fan of all the new appliances and the panels, matching panels.
Yes.
I am a fan of all those. I do like that they're offering now dishwasher drawers, so you can do a half load.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are all nice little. Like I think a kitchen still
have their
needs to be
place.
very functional, but you have to be very practical with that functionality. You can't just overblow everything just for the sake of, yeah, we spent $150,000 including all the appliances in this kitchen. So what? I need it to work properly. Are you guys really cooks? Like, do you guys cook? Do you use it? Or is it just really about looking really good in front of your
Or
friends?
resale value.
That's hard to get that. You think all those extra bells and whistles, you're going to get that?
Yeah, when it's an investment, and I mean, I don't think that the appliances. I think those should be personal, but I think the openings are important. That someone could come back in later, and if you do sell it, they can upgrade into that zone and just remove and replace with something better, right?
You ever come back, Tony, to your jobs and see what they did with the slab afterwards, or?
I have gone. They've added an extra basement kitchen or something like that. One particular job, I've done 3 units for this family, very nice family, and they just ended up repainting the kitchen. This was the company that I used to work for back in the day, and it was, I would say that kitchen was about 15 years, and it was still in good condition.
And they just refinished it.
Refinished it. So I went there to help them remove a couple pieces, and they just got a painter.
That
there.
says a lot.
And I'm telling you, it looks. And again, it was very. I had that traditional look with the core bells and all that. So they kind of eliminated it. They made a few changes to kind of modernize it, I guess you can say.
Does it look like a new kitchen?
It does, because they put new counters.
Oh.
Yeah, they really went to town, but the cabinets were in still impeccable
So
shape.
it's kind of worth spending the extra dime
It
on
is.
great carcasses
It
and
is.
hardware.
It is.
20 years down the line, you don't like it. Let's just paint it. New slabs.
Yeah.
I hate the old style where they used to just build it on the wall and like you see 5 or 10 cabinets on the top,
With the
but it's
frame.
really one big
Yeah.
one with just doors.
Yeah.
You know what? You bring up a good point. The wall. Are you expecting everybody to have plywood on that wall?
So it depends the system. So if it's a North American, let's say if it's constructed here, standard cabinets, you can grab the studs, no problem. But the European brands, if you're on a track system, you need that plywood for structural support. You know, if you're hanging these vertical rails, tracks, you want it to be supported well.
1/2 inch ply or 3/4?
It's preferably 5/8.
Well, it should match the drywall, right?
Exactly. I was just going to say
Yeah.
this. But sometimes, even if let's say you put a 5/8, you can still cover it. You don't go right across if it's open on either side, let's say. If it's
You can
freestanding,
router it in,
You can
too.
router, yeah. So there's different ways of doing it. There's different ways.
Cut some plumbing out,
No,
hit
no,
some
no,
wires.
Speaking of which, under cabinet lighting is kind of taking a dramatic turn these
changed a
days.
lot.
Like it's very.
I hated those big, bulky lights
You don't like
underneath,
the puck
man.
lights underneath? No.
I
No,
never,
not at
I
all.
like consistency. I like a balance of light.
Yes.
That under cabinet lighting has a purpose behind it. And it shouldn't be just like a criminal driving through LA. You know what I mean? With the LAPD chopper on there. It
I'm
shouldn't be
never
these
going to look at
spots.
a kitchen the same again.
I'm just saying, but yeah, I'm glad that now they're integrating into the bottom of the carcasses,
Yes.
which are very slick now, and everything's LED now, and you've
Yes.
got the options for warm or cool. It's up to you. I personally would rather go warm in a kitchen. That's just me, but
That's cool.
But what else are you seeing? Are you a fan of like? I'm actually not a huge fan of upper cabinets. I like open cabinets, shelves.
Like free floating shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice look, but then you can't store a lot.
You can store a lot, and the thing is, if you're not a clean person,
Oh, forget that. It's
you'll,
not the look
you'll
for
drive crazy. Yeah.
I think you have to be a very simple person to have that style. You have to be the kind of person that knows what you want, and you're not the kind of person that just shops.
The thing with me is
do you
that-
bake?
Yeah, I bake banana bread.
you?
Of
I
course
was
I
going to
do.
say that.
No, but that makes it. I mean, then it's okay because I've seen professional kitchens
I'm just
and
used to.
people love shelves.
I will like in the morning. I grab a specific coffee mug. You know what I mean? There's a routine to everybody. Everybody wakes up, so I don't need to open up a door and get this.
Yeah,
I
but when
just-
you got kids, you want to
I
hide
don't
as much
have
as you
kids.
can.
If it's the European living, then it's simple. You get the free floating shelves.
Yes.
So you don't need the cupboard.
You know
to,
what?
To hide it.
I'm all about it. I love it. Right to the ceiling. I like at least 8 inches at the top for crown molding. I like to have my cabinets staggered in different heights. I like highs and lows. I like a
and out.
large
Don't you feel the
reveals
kitchen
in and
feels
out.
feels bigger and warmer with open
No, I love
cabinetry?
that 3D feel. It's warm. It's inviting.
Yeah.
I like to be able to hide things and not get to them. Like I like to put the Christmas stuff at the top or the Halloween stuff at the top. You know, listen, everything's about storage these days, no?
What Halloween and what Christmas stuff
You don't have any kids, Manny.
in the kitchen? What are you like a Halloween coffee cup? Or I don't understand what's
No, you bake. It's not just banana bread, bro.
It's only banana bread.
It's to hide everything.
There's cookie cutters. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. Mixers and
Can you tell us about the oddest thing that you've seen someone put in it?
Oh, this is going way back.
Oh, go way back.
But
Is it next to the glass block?
That's Miami Vice.
That's 1986.
so going back to the painted finishes, this was high gloss as well. But this was, again, it was made here, but it was a black and peach kitchen.
Black and peach.
I could see that.
It was beside the glass block. That is totally glass block.
Again, it was their personal taste. That's what they liked. Wow. But man, it
That
was
is a
something else. When it was
contrast.
put together, yeah, that was something. But
What was
again,
on the floor?
I can't remember. But I
Black
can-
and peach.
Yeah.
I can
I like the black. The peach is a little weird.
Yeah, it's again, it's their taste. And
So that was not for a for sale sign.
I know, but how do you sell that?
You don't.
Oh, do you like peaches? Well, you'll love my house. Oh, by the way, it will really blacken.
So that's one of the oddest.
Again,
huh?
that wasn't my taste, but hey, we'll put it in. We'll do the same quality job. We'll put it in. No problem.
Just no photograph.
You know what? It was back in the day where you didn't have a phone with a
All
camera
kinds of stuff.
and all that, right? So I wish I had a couple photos.
What's the new things that you're seeing coming in? Like, what is it that you're noticing that all your customers now are starting to do?
Seeing a
in
lot
kitchens?
of custom utensil drawers.
That is big. Again, it's that modern look is coming alive with free floating cabinets underneath, all open.
Yes.
With the like stainless steel or chrome legs.
Yes.
But again, very square legs, nothing fancy. So a lot of going with that. Free floating, all open underneath. That's what's.
I could see that.
You know what? I kind of like it because no one ever finishes it by the wall. Now they have to.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know
and it's
that-
all sealed. Then It's
Yeah.
all sealed. Yeah.
And what are people dealing with backsplashes? Are they going? I think there's a trend going full slabs now on
Yeah,
backsplash.
they are.
More
Yeah.
than mosaics.
They are.
But I think it's a combination. You need a combo. Like for me, I like to see like an inlay right where the stove is. You know, I know.
I just remember we were actually talking. I think we were talking for clients on one of the podcasts. We were talking to Caesar and Marie, and he kept on bringing up the inlay. They had this beautiful inlay in their own kitchen, and I can't remember the amount of times I heard the word inlay.
Okay, so I like inlays.
So it's funny that I bring up a slab and you bring up an inlay.
I just think it's just too much is too much, right?
I agree with you. I'm not a fan of stainless steel backsplashes.
I guess depending on the look, I'm not
Yeah,
I'm not
crazy
either.
about it either.
Too much to clean.
Yeah, it's very high maintenance to clean.
I don't even like stainless steel appliances anymore.
No.
I like black or I like the wood covered appliances.
Integrated panels.
Personal
Majority
preference.
kitchens, they're doing hardwood throughout on the flooring. Is that what's happening?
That's what's happening.
Okay, as a Portuguese, it doesn't make any
By the way, you're Portuguese French.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
doesn't
very-
make any sense. The French don't acknowledge me though. It doesn't make any sense to me regarding hardwood flooring in the most working room. It doesn't make it. That wood's gonna wear out, and especially if it's a really pristine, clean, engineered of some sort. Right by the sink, right by the stove.
Can I fight you on that though?
Go ahead, fight.
I mean, I love it. I love hardwood because you can do a couple things. It's warmer on your feet unless you have radiant heat. If I drop something and say it's already a distressed wood, it's just
say it isn't.
okay. But if it isn't, if I were to smash that on porcelain or ceramics, I'd have to replace that
No,
tile.
if that porcelain was installed properly and you had full coverage underneath, bing, it's
I know. I used to
gone.
drop a hammer for a
Yes,
test,
and it would not
worked.
break. Porcelain is, and it's durable. You spill something. We always spill things. We always spill eggs. We always spill something.
It's a high use there.
My mother's thrown more things on the floor than you could even imagine when she gets angry at my dad.
So I know that it all started with the designers. Let's just bring the hardwood right throughout the whole house and bring it right into the kitchen. And then 3-4 years down the line, those spots, the stove and the sink and the dishwasher and fridge sometimes, it's just so worn out. It's like walking into the portable in elementary school. It's all worn out by the door. It just there's
Yeah, but porcelain, it gets etched, it gets scratches, and you can't fix that again.
So what's the solution here?
Well, at least with hardwood, you could either refinish it or you could remove and replace it.
Nobody's going to refinish their
I
quick,
know.
or jump quick to refinish a kitchen.
Hey, you get a good engineered floor, a good hardwood floor, you could at least get a couple sands out of
It's
it.
almost an oxymoron right there. Engineered floor has what, 2 mil? 8 inch, 3 mil?
There's some with quarter inch.
Yeah.
Quarter-inch engineer,
Yeah, yeah.
finished material. I don't even know what kind of flooring that is. What kind of
Because-
flooring is that?
Because you haven't used vintage.
Vintage is engineered.
Yeah, they have a lot of engineered.
Okay, I didn't.
And
know
they're
that.
local.
Okay, I know they are. They are. They're good. And they're oak.
A lot of Polish guys work there.
We made a stereotype on the last show about stucco and Polish guys. What's your favorite tool, Tony?
Oh yeah. Well, we already know this. He already called it.
Well, I know that it's not Hilti.
Oh, and I probably know it's not Bosch. Oh wait, you're Portuguese. It's got to be Bosch.
Let them speak.
Green, not blue, but green Bosch.
Listen, I have a wide. Okay, yes, my storage is. Should I say the name?
Of course.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So it is a Festool Sustainers. That's what I like to use.
Yeah, they're great.
So they're great. Yes, they're a little pricey, but you can't buy everything all in one shot. Obviously,
No, you never do.
You never do. But I do have the T-stacks too, DeWalt. Storage, I put material, screws, whatever in there. Again, I have Makita I have Bosch,
You have everything.
Festool, but the drills.
Guilty.
So I was gonna go there. I am looking for a new laser level, and the 30 was a PMG, I think it's called, from Hilti. I'm intrigued
They got the
by
best
that.
lasers.
You know,
I'm
what's funny
intrigued
is
about that.
we had Paul from Mac Constructions Inc. who does self-leveling, and he swapped out from Leica to Hilti, and he loves Hilti.
Okay.
Part of the reason that he went Hilti is their recalibrating service
Yes.
is half the price, and they already offered 2 of them, I think it was. So he was like, for the same price, he's getting he thinks a better laser.
Listen, the truth is, I've got a lot of mixed tools too. I mean, my go-to
Every contractor.
my go-to
Yeah, it's-
tools and his go-to tools are, Bosch and Hilti.
I've got Makita, I've got a
But
fine tool.
all my carpentry or some of my really precise grinders all have Makita. I have DeWalt stuff. I know he doesn't like that. He likes to store stuff in the boxes.
Listen, I still, whenever I hear DeWalt now, I can't stop thinking about Mike from Greenstone FM, and we asked him about DeWalt, and he's like, "Yeah, it's great for hanging pictures." But I will say that when Bosch launched their track saw last year, I am a fan of that track saw.
Track saw.
Really? Eh?
Oh, I'm a fan of that track saw.
I'll have to check that out. I'm actually
and
looking to buy a
extend
track
it,
saw.
It's actually a really nice saw, man.
Someone told me to go Makita though.
Really? Yeah.
A couple guys, yeah.
Okay.
One of our good friends, Tony. Yeah, another Tony. Timber Taylor. He loves he's tries everything and he loves his Makita.
But he's a Hitachi guy, eh? He's from Japan, right?
no. Well,
So-
he's very particular. He really loves his precision tools. So,
But you've got a Festool Mitre.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
how is that? How do you like it?
I like it, but my chop saw is still the DeWalt.
Really?
Yes. Reason being is for high crowns, a 7-inch crown, let's say, I like to cut it upright, nested.
You do? You don't lay it down?
I was never a fan of it. I find it's quicker for me to cut it upright. I go a lot quicker.
So do you have a jig?
Yeah, so I make like an L-shape jig just to, because, well, the DeWalt saw that I have, the chop saw, it has a higher fence already.
Yeah,
And
it does.
that helps. And the way its arm, it allows you to cut
The
higher
mouth is big.
material. The
Yeah,
mouth.
that's the
Wait.
one thing. 12-inch DeWalt, you can get away with a big crown on that. You can.
I specifically bought that for my first project I was working on. I was doing a high crown. It was Niagara-on-the-Lake. I'll never forget it. But man, it was beautiful.
And you haven't cut it yet?
cut which?
Your own miter saw with the miter saw. Sometimes those guys put it in too tight and I see them cut right into it.
But yeah, so that's why I actually own 3 DeWalt chop saws.
Oh, wow.
So each one for a certain specific reason. But the Capex, it's so smooth though.
Is it?
It's so smooth.
The rails in the front don't make it kind of weird.
I love it.
Yeah?
But the only thing is, it doesn't allow me to cut high, let's say, fascia for the crown, or the fascia, or the upstand, some people call that. It's really smooth.
What is with the stand though? That stand seems a little weird.
You have to know how to fold it, how to store it. But man, that stand is awesome.
Is it awesome? Really? Yeah. I remember seeing it for the first time, and I was like,
Yeah, it's
okay,
awesome.
replay that again. I don't know how to stand.
It's
how that
pretty
works.
neat, especially. Let's say I rarely do condo jobs, but if I do, it's so.
You're talking to a condo guy over there.
I
He loves
love
it for
condos,
whatever
man.
reason.
But going into a condo, it's so beautiful. The stand is all integrated with the saw. Just wheel it in.
Done.
It's done. Yeah.
So what is your favorite tool?
My favorite tool that I like to use is the Festool Track Saw.
That's your go-to.
I use that thing.
Track saws are amazing.
It's a
man.
game changer.
Yeah.
I used to use a jigsaw to cut, let's say, a fridge side panel.
Belt sander, whatever.
Belt sander,
Wow.
planer.
Yeah, planer.
You got so many things here. You set up the track. Boom.
It's so nice. And he hooks it up to a vacuum.
You don't even need a
That's
table
even
saw
better.
anymore, by the way. You know?
Not really.
To cut smaller material, I mean, you can get away with the track saw, but you need a table saw still.
Yeah.
You still need it.
But
the
if,
track saw
if you're
to-
stuck on an island and you have to choose one or the other, I don't know why you're on an island. You need a power tool. There's no power. But if you're stuck
There's
on the
solar power.
solar power.
And don't forget the turbines in the waves.
yeah, I do like that track.
Yeah, so that was a game,
I love
game
that
changer
island.
for me. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into vehicle land here now.
Oh yeah. Well, I already know what it is, so you might as well just spit it out. Usually we beat the guest here, so I don't get to see their vehicle.
But wait a minute, Tony, before we started and he was outside there, he actually mentioned your van.
The Chevy Cargo.
Yes.
Oh, you
No, but did you know it was 4x4 a unicorn?
One of the rare ones.
The rare
I know.
one,
Yeah. So before that, he had before the Sprinter.
Let's hear it. What's the joke? Come on.
There's no joke. There's no joke. No, but he's got a 2017.
So it's 2017 Sprinter. That's what
the regular roof.
regular roof.
Yeah.
That was the Dodge, right?
No,
No,
That's
it's
Mercedes?
It's a
It's
Mercedes.
Mercedes,
Okay.
yeah.
It's so ideal. How much do you want me to say about it?
Keep going.
Keep going.
Say it.
Okay.
This is
This show's brought to you by IKEA. Don't worry.
this is about giving people more ammunition and more directions and more options. So
We've got a lot of guys. I think
this is personal preference.
Yeah.
Your all of our three opinions are not the same.
So I was telling you just before we got started here, I had a Chevy cargo van,
Nice.
and it was a 2003. I had it for 15 years. I almost had 500K on it.
Oh, wow.
That thing was a beast. I drove everywhere. I had projects in Ottawa.
I'll give Chevy
Montreal.
that much that it,
You know what?
we've heard
Their-
that a lot.
Their engines,
Yeah.
they keep on going. The body, fantastic. It was in mint shape, but I did the tranny at 220. I had to redo it again coming up, and I'm
Sounds
you know
like
what?
someone's a little heavy on their foot.
It's all the mileage I would do.
Those Portuguese
up north
burnouts. Chinese school, quick!
in the snow, right? Yeah. But going to the Sprinter, it saves you on
Gas.
Well, it's diesel, but man, you save.
It's efficient.
It's so
It
efficient.
was diesel, nice.
Yeah, so it's so efficient. I have it set up, with your shelving. I still want to modify it a little, but it's such a smooth ride. I wish I had a couple issues with it, just with the body, like I was saying, a couple of rough
Yeah.
spots. I
but
think they're notorious for that.
They were
Yeah.
exactly.
I can't believe you didn't use your olive oil on that.
he's Portuguese, not Italian.
I would rust proof it all the time.
Is that how you rust proof an Italian van? Is
Hey, go get the olive oil, Tony.
Any other groups you want to offend on this podcast?
And this is brought to you by olive oil.
We have no sponsors. That's it. Nobody's going to attach themselves to us. Okay, so I actually wanted to get into, you got two other guys that are working for you, two younger guys.
Yes.
They're doing well?
So far, so good.
How long have they been with you?
That's the first time I've seen a professional the whole time. Like, please God, let this work out.
How long are we talking now?
They're good guys, really good guys.
Portuguese?
Actually, one is Russian.
Wow.
And one is a Hungarian background. Two great guys. Again, it's just to get them up to speed.
How'd you find them?
So it was through mutual friends. They knew I was looking for help. I put a post on an app, and they kind of respond. I had quite a few guys respond, but I didn't want to take on someone who was experienced. I wanted someone to train. This way you can mold them, like I was saying earlier, the way I wanted to get things done. So it's just the growing pains again. I've been through a lot of growing pains with different people. Some worked out, which was great, but circumstances changed. They wanted to do something else. These guys, it seems promising. It's just whether or not, if they're going to stick with it. So far,
There is that
good.
question that everyone always asks, is that you take somebody on, you teach them a bunch of tricks, then they take off, and there's that, I don't want to teach anybody anymore.
I'm not even joking you. I've had in my 30 years in this business over 1,000 employees. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I've never kept anyone longer than 4 years.
That's kind of the norm, I think.
What's with this 4-year number?
They
same with
they
me.
just move on. No matter how good you treat them or how awful you treat
Move
them.
on their own to their own.
They just
They do something
disappear.
else. I had someone, and he was with me for about, again, I'm telling you, it was 4 years, if just over. They just wanted to do something else. So after you put all that into it,
Another trade or just another industry?
something totally different. Well, I don't know what he's up to now, but hopefully
But Tony,
he's
this
doing
is really important. I think that they need to hear this. The guys that work for other people, we put a lot of time and our own personal money, our personal relationships to the side to teach
So
these
true.
guys something.
So true.
And they burn that bridge so that.
It depends on how they leave because
that's
it's
key.
But it's very rare.
It's key.
It's so
I
rare.
I don't mind teaching them and take the knowledge and do it. I mind if they don't do anything with the knowledge. I mean, we're all teachers. Everybody in this industry, we're all teachers. We're supposed to teach the next person and share that information so that they can take something with it. But if they're just leaving for the sake that, well, you know what, I could make more money, be better than you, then that's not the right mindset.
And then they find out.
The grass is not greener on the other side.
Exactly. Then
It's
they
not.
learn real quick, and then all of a sudden they're coming back to you or somebody else, and they're getting a job that's less money, less favorable.
And you can't expect when you start off to make big bucks. That's what everybody wants.
The younger guys
That's-
are thinking that, though.
But they shouldn't, because you got to start somewhere and learn the trade, whatever it is, whether it's a trade or into the workforce. You have to start somewhere.
I always tell people, how much you want? And they'll go, oh, I want $40 or $50 an hour. And I start laughing to myself. I go, how about this? Why don't you work for me for a week? I'll give you $20 an hour. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You seem like you know what you're doing. If you prove to me that you're worth more than 20, I'll entertain it. If you don't, then I want some money back. And
Good luck with that.
no, but honestly, the truth is that
When's your space shuttle leave?
when a customer hires Tony, they want it Tony's way. They don't want it the laborer's way. They don't want it the guys that are working for you. They want it Tony's way. They want Tony there, and they want Tony's way.
But these guys should be looking at trying to build Tony 2.0. You know what I mean? Take your knowledge and leave that relationship on a positive note. Don't leave on a negative note.
Have you been talking to Vanilla Ice lately?
What does Vanilla Ice have to do with
2.0.
I don't follow him. Tony's a big Snickers guy.
No.
Big Snickers. He's got his TC embroidered into his Snickers, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Snickers jacket right now.
Are you really?
Yeah. Just for people that don't know.
Look at that.
nice.
Huh? Look at that. I don't even have that one.
I don't have
Yeah,
that one.
you did.
Nice.
I don't have that one. That one was too big for me, so then I gave
Yeah,
it to you.
you gave it to me.
was a
Now
hand
I'm
me
wearing
up.
it.
It was a hand me up, is what
And
it
you know
was.
what? I wear it. It's actually pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, no.
I didn't expect it. It was very light, and I didn't expect it to be that good of quality. And now I'm so impressed with it. I'm literally wearing it all the time. What other clothes do you wear next to Snickers?
Before I used to use different brands.
Track pants?
Track pants, no. I was never a fan. I know you were. I know you are.
But you're Portuguese.
No, Portuguese don't wear track pants on a job site. I've never seen I've seen a Croatian on a job site with a track pant.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
No. Why do you like track pants on a job site? They make no sense.
So I like track pants for many reasons. One of them is I have bad knees also. So like you have bad knees and it's hard in jeans getting caught up all
Snickers,
the
you
time.
can put,
I was
you can
just
put
gonna
the
say,
pads.
Is Snickers Swedish?
Yes.
Yes.
And it doesn't move. The pad goes
Now,
with your body.
is it really Swedish or
Yes.
is it just labeled
No,
and sent to Sweden and then came over
from
here?
there. No.
Okay.
Don't be trying to.
I really want to get down to some dirty stuff. What are the problems you have with homeowners? What are the occurring problems that homeowners are giving you that they're not ready for when you come in?
Again, the issue about plumbing and electrical, they're not in the correct spot. That's usually not so often.
Does
but
that slow you down?
It does slow you down.
Which
because
is
you
really
can't
interesting
conceive-
because when you have a kitchen layout, like you order a kitchen and you're expecting that kitchen to arrive. So you know where the sink is, the dishwasher.
some things are overseen sometimes.
The plumber and the electrician, they didn't look at the drawings or what happened?
So either if it's the GC on site or the homeowner didn't pay attention to that, and then they expect at the time of install that, okay, we might do something about it. But I mean, I'm not a licensed plumber. I'm not a licensed electrician.
You know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to be like the Maury Chapin of 60 Minutes, where I'm going to be like saying with a stop clock, and I'm going to be like, literally took at your drawings, and it'll take you 60 seconds to assess where that plumbing, where the crosshairs are supposed to be. They don't look at the drawings.
But that's what it comes down to.
They don't look at the drawings because a kitchen is the most definitive space. When you finally agree on the style of kitchen that you want and the carcasses that you're ordering, there's no give. Like that sink belongs here, that stove belongs there. So when that trade comes in to hook up the gas or hook up the wire, whatever, all that stuff, they know where it should go. They chose the appliances because all these cabinets are designed for these appliances. So you can be that client that at the last minute, 11th hour, change appliances and do that, but then you're asking for a major headache. I think the kitchen, like, they just don't look. I'm going to say the trade does not look at the drawing and doesn't get the crosshairs, but it's also the GC's responsibility to put those crosshairs to know where it is.
Exactly.
And what are the problems you're getting with GCs? Like, what's the frustrating thing about guys that are hiring you?
Things not being plumb level.
Plumb, eh?
Especially in corners. Like I'm sure you come across this. Sink unit. What's behind the sink unit? You got your drain and you got your water lines. What usually happens when you're mudding around there? Doesn't it bump out all the time?
Of course it does.
So how am I going to lay out the kitchen run straight, nice and plumb, and to kind of line everything up according to the plan? So you kind of have to shift things. Again, that's the problem-solving scenario where you got to play around with that. Like in a particular job I was working on, you put the unit on, it was sticking out 1 inch off the wall. The base unit, it's like, what am I going to do here? So you got to kind of equalize it, but then it throws everything else off. So it's a domino effect. So it's just ways of...
Am I wrong to say when you're in the kitchen, because you bring up a really good point about the mudding there, and I'm not going to point fingers at the mudders. The last
Like
job
the
I
mothers or the mudders?
The mudders. But the last job that I did, my mudder came up to me and he asked me, do you want 2-3 finished coats around all the drywall where the kitchen's going to go? And I said, no. Why? It's all getting covered, right? So why do I want to build that out? So you'll get the new guy or whatever, a mudder, and he will build it out. And especially if they missed the hole a little bit and they made it a little larger, then he's going to try to fill it.
Is it sometimes with the plumbing that pushes that all out?
That's also another point too. It could be if it was spray foamed and it could have been pushed.
No, I blame it. I'm a mudder.
Okay.
So who are you blaming?
I just see horrible mudding skills.
Okay.
The guys are too in and out, too fast, and there's not enough love.
So
put
would
into
you
it.
be okay for not mudding those pieces?
No, I really want to mud all that.
Really?
When I open up my drawer, I'm just that finicky. When I open up my bottom drawers, I don't want to see holes where bugs can come through, mice can come through, imperfections, chunks.
But wait a minute. The cabinetry have backing on it.
Yeah.
Not all cabinets. Sometimes they only have strips on the top.
That's IKEA.
Not all. Like the Home Depot does it. There's other companies. I mean, Tony's a high end guy, right? Like, I mean, you do everything, but not everybody has a backing on there. That would be ideal. You could just throw it up and you'd be done.
That's peace of mind too when it's sealed, I guess.
I mean, I hate
behind
it
the
around
cabinets.
washrooms, like even where the toilet fixture is. Most of the time, it's never finished. You have to put a big scutcheon plate around the outside.
I'm talking about a section of wall where you're going to take a cabinet and you're going to drill the holes for the cabinet perfectly, and it's going to go right in front of the
Do you know how
drywall.
many people have made me paint under there, and those chunks and imperfections, tape sticking out? I have to end up fixing it later, anyways. So I'd rather just have it done once.
I disagree with you.
Okay. Well, you're paying the mudder already. You might as well just get him to finish it.
Let's talk a little bit about COVID. What's going on in this interesting world now? Our essential world.
I've been fortunate to work on job sites where the one custom home that I was working in, he took the initiative, only one trade at a time in the house. So,
Which is great.
Which is, I think, a fantastic way of taking care of it. So it was myself and another guy, two of us there, and we worked on the closets. We took all care of that, sliding doors. It was just the two of us, which was fantastic. The following site, same thing, kept to a minimum. Now I think it's about 5 guys you can have on a site. We're being very careful with that, and they're following those safety procedures.
I do like, because now is actually, I used to opt for the more expensive porta potty. The more, they called them the Cadillac. So it was like 5x5, separate urinal.
Yeah, they're pretty nice toilets
and
you
a
have.
sink
Okay.
and a heat and a toilet, everything, right? It wasn't the rickety dickety kind of, plastic thing. But I'm liking that the GCs now are asking for those things and having the hot water, having the sanitation, all that stuff, right?
Just out of curiosity, what is the difference in cost when you're paying for that? I never ever asked you that.
It depends on where you find it, but I think that it's about twice the price.
Okay, so what's a normal power potty?
Less than $100.
A week?
No, a month.
A month. Okay, so what would the up?
You're in about 225, 250 sometimes.
That's so worth it.
The drop-off carriage is a little higher because it's a bigger unit, so they have fewer units on the flatbed to drop them off versus you could 15,000 of the Nature's Calls or whatever those.
And they
ones.
clean once a week?
They clean them once a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, at that, I like that. If there's a positive thing to this whole COVID, I like that as contractors, we finally have hot water. We finally have sanitary hand washing stations everywhere now. We finally have a larger bathroom. I like that that's all happening now. We didn't before. Not everybody.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, people are doing what they should be doing, cleaning their hands.
Yes.
A lot of people don't. I see painters eating with their hands. I see plumbers eating with their hands. They're not washing. Right now, we're re-educating people on not being cavemen and eating with clean hands.
Today, I was actually talking to a rep, and he was telling me that before COVID started, Lowe's had about 50 online orders per month. They're getting 500 per day. You better embrace technology, and you better accept the fact that you have to do things online now and you have to order it. I love Amazon. I'm a huge Amazon fan. I've been with Amazon Prime for 5-6 years now.
And this is brought to you by Amazon.
These shows are all brought to you by a lot of places. But the reason I like it is because the return policy and the convenience of it. And if I
But there is no return policy.
There
now,
is
right?
90 days. You can
With Amazon?
Yes.
Okay, that's good
They
to know.
give you the shipping for free.
Okay.
It doesn't cost you to return something. So you can get it, don't like it, return it. You can get it, don't like it, use it, return it. The big box stores are the slowest ones. And we've said this before, where construction is always the last one at the trough. And they should have stepped up, and they should step up a lot faster and a lot better. And there should be pro lines, man. I did the Home Depot thing. I did an order just for a small little item because I was just curious. Went online, ordered it, purchased it. Got an email saying that you will get confirmation in 15 minutes. 6 hours later, I got the confirmation. It was already the end of the day. It was done.
I'm waiting 3-4 days.
So the next day, I went to the parking lot, and it was all roped off with shopping carts to only go one way. And I think personally, you better set up a pro line. Separate us, segregate us, man. Give us an HOV lane.
I love that. I love that idea.
But these big box, they should be doing that.
But there's another problem, Manny, and it's not a problem for you. It's not a problem for Tony, and it's not a problem for 60% of contractors. But there are a lot of contractors that have gone through bankruptcies or money problems. They don't have visas and they can't use visas. They need to find a different system of paying for these guys to keep alive.
So there are options here.
There are, but there's people like myself that aren't I'm computer illiterate.
We know what happened to the
It works. It's working for me. But what I'm saying is there's people that are worse off than me, and they're really having a hard time.
Tony, you want to chime in, Tony? You've been quiet during this whole segue.
A little bit on the box stores. I've went a couple times past couple days.
How was it?
It was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
All I see is 2 people going in and out. Why don't you have a couple more people helping out? There's a huge lineup of cars.
Yeah.
Just get a couple people out there. Okay, no one's in the store. No customers going to the store. How come there's not more?
You know what my theory is? And I told that to the rep today when he told me about how the lineup was massive and they can't keep up with the orders because they're getting 500 now per day instead of 50. I just said these guys are getting paid the exact same amount and they can walk slower now. There's no rush. There's no reason to rush. I'm getting paid the exact same amount. That's their mindset of these employees that belong to the big box store.
No, you're right.
Why am I racing to go get this order?
I had an employee one time. I was paying him $25 an hour. He wanted 35. I watched him for 2 or 3 days, and I said, "Hey, man, can you pick it up?" He goes, "You're only paying me 25." I said, "So you have 2 different speeds? You have a $35 speed and a $25 speed? Really? Get out of here, man."
So, Tony, you're a young guy still. You going to pass on the business to somebody else?
Right now, I'm happy the way it's going right now. I'm happy. I've had the opportunity in the past to have a few jobs on the go. I went through that, and I lost a lot of sleep. I was stressed. It's stressful.
Relationships.
Yeah, not so much. My wife is very understanding with that, but it was more, I just spent more time. I wasn't spending time at home with my family. I was worried, stressed, would lose sleep. So I didn't want to go through that. I'm just going to keep it a job at a time and see how it goes. But what I would like to do, I've been doing a few things with my son, passing what I know to him.
A hammer?
Hopefully he doesn't start nailing the casing like I did.
Did you give him the original hammer you had?
I wish I still had that.
I know, eh? Those are the things that you wish.
I wish I still had that. But no, we're building a desk for him right now. So
Is he liking it? Like he's interested?
It seems like he's very interested. So in class, he well, now it's online, but when they were in class, he was doing shop class, so they're starting to get into the woodworking.
How old is he?
He's 11.
Okay, so we're gonna have him on the podcast, by the way.
Wait, so he's 11 and they're doing shop class?
There's shop class, so yeah, it's pretty neat. And it's the French immersion program that he's in.
Okay.
So everything's in French. So I was like, well, I don't know.
He's not going to Trudeau, is he?
What do you mean Trudeau?
Trudeau.
Oh,
School.
that's right, Trudeau.
Yeah.
On Grace.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
California sandwiches.
Is that where the California? Yeah,
Claremont.
right up on the one way. Yeah,
Exactly.
That's the original place.
The original. On Claremont.
Claremont, that's right.
Yes.
But now it's different. It's not all French. It's like
They mixed
half and
it?
half. It's half and half. He's embracing it. What I'm showing him, he's enjoying it. So instead of having the shop class there at school, we're doing it at our place. So he's embracing it. Hopefully he sticks with it.
Is he going to go to Central Tech?
So we're not downtown anymore. So we're in the West End. The high school that he will end up going, there is a technical program there. So hopefully
This is good to hear that we're hearing some schools still have the technical side.
But you know what's great to hear is that Tony's probably one of the only guys I know that's in construction that wants to see his kid in construction. All my other buddies are like, no way, they're not going to be in my trade.
But you know what? Even if he decides not to go with it, at least he has something to fall back on, and he's learning something.
Yeah.
And again, whatever he decides to do, I'll encourage. We'll both encourage them. But if he can learn a trade,
For sure.
I'll be happy to pass that on. I'll be happy to pass that on.
I would like to talk about something that you may not want to talk about.
Before you do that, we have our final segment.
Oh, well, we have Greenberg Talk with Manny. No, just joking. That's with me. So this is a question for both of you. Manny probably already knows it, but I'm going to ask you anyways. So these are infractions. Operator leaving controls of a machine unattended. What do you think the fine is?
Probably a couple $100, that's for sure.
$550.
Yeah, probably around there. 750.
250.
250.
That's it for leaving a machine unattended?
Oh,
But,
wow.
But think about that. Anyone could jump in that machine and
That's what I mean. That's
Yeah,
not
that should
a
be-
harsh enough fine.
I know, but that's first offense. First offense.
First offense.
So your first Joe ride.
Okay, so three guys are having a coffee and a cigarette in front of a backhoe. A kid jumps in and kaboom! Three guys are dead. $250.
That's not right.
Everyone's
Serious,
lives have
eh?
changed.
That's serious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Today's show is brought to you by the Green Book. Okay, now Cordeiro.
So I want to talk about prices. It's there's no set price in construction. We talk about this all the time. I like to say that we all use different things, different tools, different trucks. What are going rates of an average kitchen?
To actually manufacture? Or
So I want a brand new kitchen and I want a brand new cabinet.
That's a loaded question, man. There's too many
No, but
variables.
So
What's the going rate typically?
you can start anywhere. I think the base rate is probably what, 40, 50 grand maybe?
All right,
Probably,
so
something like that. Okay, and again, depends.
I know his stress level just went through the roof.
Well, again,
and mine were like, yeah, that's
for
pretty
a
cheap.
kitchen, let's say in my place, no, I'm not going to spend that much, obviously. So, I mean, if the clientele, that niche market, that's kind of a base.
Well,
I think an average kitchen.
I want to talk about things the bank doesn't, and I'm going to bring that up.
That's
so
not true.
I know. Right now, I priced the kitchen out, and it was about $25,000. I didn't get the job.
just for the cabinets.
complete kitchen.
Oh,
Complete kitchen built
complete
without
reno.
quartz, without quartz
no
countertops.
countertops.
So it was just cabinets, pantries.
How many
installed.
linear feet? How many linear feet of bottoms and uppers?
It would be about 24 linear feet, lower and upper, 4 pantries, and an island. So I got it around for
That's
25.
a lot.
25,000 MDF painted. She
Shaker.
took $7,000 from IKEA and $3,000 to build it. That's what I lost. I lost the job to an IKEA kitchen, but let me tell you, it really showed IKEA. Open tops. There was no crown molding. There was no valance on the top.
so it's basic.
There's dust going in. There's spiders going.
But she got it
The
for $10,000.
inside corners where the 22.5s meet, they're all open, like 3/16.
That's
You
why
look
it's cheaper.
underneath, you can see the screws from underneath, and then when you open the doors, you can see they've been wrapped. You know,
What do you mean, the thermofoil?
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just like, this is like probably one of the areas that you spend the most time next to the washroom.
But she saved $15,000.
But she's got to look at this. And you know what? She complains to me every single time I come by that this and this and that.
Why
wasn't
are you
done.
still there?
I'm finishing the jobs that the contractors that she so thought she would save money on. I'm finishing their loose ends. They just got frustrated because they weren't making the money that they should. They just walked. They walked by not finishing the microwave covers. They didn't finish the tops. There was many things they didn't fine tune and tweak out. They just came in,
Slap it together.
opened up the boxes, took the cardboard, and just slammed it on. You're saying $15,000 she saved, but she's not saving that because when I'm done...
Oh, I'm being facetious.
No, I know. I'm just saying that when she's done now, this is going to cost her more than her just going with me the first time. And it was custom. Do you know what I mean?
It's not custom.
No, but when you build something for your home and you're not just opening up a box and then just putting fillers on the end to just close it up, this is built for that kitchen, not coming out of a box store in boxes and you're trying to assemble it.
I actually do want to start a new segment. I don't know what we're going to call it yet. But I wanted to see if, Tony, you would give up a trade tip, anything at all.
A trade tip.
I want to try to get every single one of our guests that come on to give us a trade tip based on their trade. Something that they may have learned over the years, recently, in the past, or whatever. Just it could be anything. Anything at all. If there's something that first
And it can't be, don't be in this business.
That's not a trade tip.
I'm just
a trade
teasing,
warning.
Well, in terms of installing,
What's a nice trick that all of a sudden somebody saw you do it and they were like, hey,
I know,
want
don't
that.
use a jigsaw.
No.
you need a jigsaw. Well, one thing I this is something I've learned. I didn't come up with this. Is putting on end panels or a filler. You probably saw this on one of my posts. I put one of the legs underneath the bottom of the shelf of the base cabinet just to support it, so it sits on.
Yeah.
You can line it up.
Yeah.
Simple tip. I learned from someone, and that always stuck with me, and I use it till this day still. That's a nice little tip.
It is. It's actually a really good tip.
Yeah.
There we go. New segment.
So you want to call it a construction tip.
Yeah, we'll work on that at the next meeting. Any more questions?
Well, I have a question.
Oh,
May I?
Gets me nervous when guests ask us questions.
It's going back to the washrooms.
Oh, go ahead.
Is that okay?
Dum,
No,
This is
totally.
going to be a real dump.
It might be. So, let me ask you this. Is it worth putting a functional working toilet in the basement with a working sink instead of having a porta potty outside?
No, I rather have a porta potty in the
Outside?
correct one.
Okay.
Because I think my personal opinion is that the trays will be more pigs on a site fixed toilet. And just the idea of how everybody got upset about me taking that first pee in a toilet that's installed by a plumber. If the client gets wind of that,
Not a new toilet.
no, I know,
Wait.
but still that there was all this urinating and
Oh, I see.
defecating going
Okay,
on
I see.
inside my
But
house.
Manny, you said it. The wind.
I'm against it. I'm totally against it. I think that a porta potty, we know what that room is. We know what it's about outside. We know that it goes away. But the memory of the idea of having it inside the job site on someone's home, that memory's never going to go away. That's my opinion.
Honestly, I also believe that next to not using the customer's washroom, unless they don't supply in the cost,
Yes.
an outside.
Yes.
If you don't want to pay for a porta potty, you deserve stains in your toilet, especially if you don't have a brush to clean it. But another thing is, I really believe next to not going to the bathroom in someone's home is you shouldn't be eating their food or accepting drinks.
Oh, you mean if they offer food?
I don't believe in creating relationships with people until the
A line,
job's done.
a line.
And that's so private, like toilet paper, hair, smells. Homeowners don't want it.
What are your thoughts, Tony?
No, it was just more of if you're renovating the whole home. If it's,
I think you
being
have a
under
porta potty.
construction.
I think you. It's no different than you would bring a bin for your trash. It's part of the job.
Listen, guys have to go to the bathroom, man.
Oh,
we
yeah,
do
for sure.
And you don't want your guys walking down the street to the local because that becomes a whole escapade.
The reason why I brought this up.
Why did you bring it up?
The reason why, because one particular site, the GC, that's mandatory on their sites. They put a working toilet, working sink. They have soap, wipes now, especially now with the COVID going on. They'll take the time to do that, but they clean it. They don't. And you know what? I'm with you as well, Carlito. If you're going to use a toilet, clean up after yourself.
Yeah, I don't
Just
want to see.
Wipe it, whatever. If
You know,
even
I-
the sink,
I
even the
wipe-
sink, just
why
wipe
don't-
it.
I wipe the porcelain every time, even if I didn't go to the bathroom.
I know, but why don't they just get a porta potty?
For one, this was the condo project. But
Okay.
even other sites that they've had, it
Yeah.
was mandatory. That's their policy to have a working toilet for all the trades. But they
Well, no,
take care of it.
legally speaking,
You need to have one.
and running water now.
Yeah.
Hot water. So it's like we have to have this now. Condos are a different animal. That's
It
the
is.
reason why I've
Yeah.
only ever done one condo. I just don't like the idea of depending on the floor.
But in condos, just so you know, if you are playing by the rules, and a lot of guys don't like condos because of the rules, and I'm okay with it. I've learned to play the game. I make good friends with the management by following the rules and the superintendents. Superintendents are very important in high-rise buildings.
Here's a crazy idea for condos, for all the condos that are being built in Toronto now. Stupid amount of condos that are being built. I think every single floor should have a construction toilet on it.
I was leading to this.
So when you as a tenant have a unit, a condo, and you're going to renovate it for whatever reason, you get a key, and that contractor has to take care of that toilet because they're the only ones that have access to that toilet. But there should, no different than the garbage disposal room.
True.
You create a toilet and a sink, basic, on each condo floor.
Before you finished my conversation with yours, I was leading to every building has a laundry room in that condo. So every apartment, every condo
But
has
you're
a
going
laundry
back to the
room.
client saying that you used and you dirtied my.
Okay, but what I'm saying to you is if you play by the rules of the management and superintendent, they will give you a swab to go down to the laundry room. And the laundry room has washers and dryers with a 2-piece bathroom. And you as a contractor can leave the unit, go downstairs to the whole building where they wash. And I'm just saying it's a bathroom
No, I get
outside
it.
of it, and the superintendent cleans it. So it's just another loophole for guys that work in condos. That's what I do. I send the guys downstairs to the laundry room, and
You get
it's-
into condos, Tony?
It's rare. It's rare.
Okay, yeah.
It's the odd one. It's the odd one.
Okay, so I think we offended enough people on this show. We learned a lot about Tony. Again, it's at tc.installations with an s .inc on Instagram.
That's correct.
You've got your clientele. It's all word of mouth these days, right?
That's all it is. Word of mouth.
Word of
And
mouth on digital, or is it still word of mouth in person?
You know what? I did not want to get involved with social media at all, but
You're doing a pretty good job for it.
But you know what? And I appreciate that. Thank you. But when I did it, it was like wasting so much time on it. But this just past year, it's crazy how much response I get from it.
People reaching
A lot
out.
of companies reaching out, and I unfortunately can't take on that work. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of picking and choosing right now. But I really appreciate everyone following. And
Just use it for what it's worth, man. That's all. Just take it for what it's worth, and then make it work for you instead of the other way around. That's all it is.
But you know,
man.
I just try to show what we
Yeah.
do, and that's kind of my
yeah, you got your Festool
portfolio.
Fridays, you got Snickers
no, but
Sundays.
but there's more to Tony than that. Like I'll post something, and 10,000 people won't say anything, and Tony will put a like or a comment, and it's always nice to have someone interacting with you, and even if you don't know them. Now I know you, and there's a lot of people's stuff I don't like. It just doesn't capture me. It doesn't invite me.
I'm humbled by you guys saying that. I really appreciate
Sometimes
that.
like
Thank you.
just a quick picture can do a thought. I'm really liking Manny's stuff lately. This guy's like going hardcore.
No, you're not. We got to get out of here, man. So, Tony, thanks very much. At tc.installations with an s .inc on Instagram. We really appreciate finally getting on the show. You're getting close to our 75th show, man.
Wow.
You believe that? You remember when we got started way back? We were little ones.
Wow.
Are you talking about Mike?
No. Don't be upsetting anybody. We are, hopefully COVID does clean up a little bit. Something happens because we are planning something interesting for our 100th.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Something interesting for our 100th.
Yeah.
Okay, get us out of here. Thanks, Tony. Really
Guys,
appreciate
thank you
it,
for
man.
having me.
Thank you so much. And this has been very enlightening and always a pleasure. That's it, man. That's it.
416 TO baby construction line. Yo, Tony! Shitty school.